That's all it is, Miles.
What's up, danger?
When we talk about Spider-Man, most people immediately think of Peter Parker. But the truth is, there's another hero who slowly earned a huge place in the hearts of fans, Miles Morales. From his first appearances in animated series to becoming the star of an Oscar-winning movie, Miles' evolution has been nothing short of spectacular. Today, we'll take a look at how his appearance, personality, and even the way he's been portrayed on screen have changed over the years, going from the new kid to a true icon of the Spider-Verse. Before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel and motivates me to keep bringing more evolutions like this one. Alright, let's get started. Ultimate Spider-Man, 2014 to 2015. The first time we saw Miles Morales in animation was in this series, when Peter Parker traveled through the multiverse and encountered alternate versions of himself. Among those different Spider-Men appeared none other than Miles Morales. For its time, the plot was pretty multiversal. Peter had to gather heroes from various dimensions to face threats that endangered the entire reality. And there was Miles, young, fresh, and with a completely different vibe.
My name is Miles Morales, and I'm Spider-Man. We're not ghosts, right? Because if I'm dead...
His suit stayed true to the comics, black with red details and a red spider on the chest. Compared to Peter's suit, it looked more modern, almost futuristic, with those striking color contrasts that made him stand out anywhere. Here, Miles was introduced as an alternate Spider-Man, younger and less experienced, but full of energy. He didn't have everything under control yet, but he made up for it with courage and optimism. He felt like that cool younger brother who's eager to prove he can save the day too. As for the visuals, the animation wasn't revolutionary, but it used bright colors and fast-paced action. Every time Miles appeared, his black and red suit popped immediately against the background, making him stand out from the other heroes. This was the first time many fans met Miles outside the comics. In fact, some kids who watched this series thought he'd always been part of Spider-Man's world, when in reality, he had only existed in Marvel for a few years. It was his big introduction to the mainstream audience. Marvel's Spider-Man, 2017 to 2020. Now things started getting more serious. This series was the first to really explore Miles Morales' origin story in animation. The story followed Peter Parker in his early years as Spider-Man, but with a twist. Miles also entered the scene and gradually developed his own spider powers. Over time, he went from being just Peter's friend to becoming a hero with his own identity. At first, we saw him as a regular kid in casual clothes, but once he took on the role of Spider-Man, he adopted his black and red suit, sleeker, more youthful, and perfectly suited to the show's animation style. This version of Miles was curious, smart, and eager to learn. He felt very human, sometimes doubting if he was ready for such big responsibility, but always striving to live up to his hero, Peter. What made this show great was how it depicted his growth, from rookie to battle partner. His relationship with Peter was almost like brothers. Peter guided him, but also learned from him. The animation wasn't as detailed as Spider-Verse, but it featured dynamic action scenes, cool gadgets, and classic villains. Every time the two Spider-Men fought side by side, it was a real highlight. Interestingly, this series acted as the perfect bridge that prepared audiences to see Miles as a main hero. It helped fans embrace the idea that there isn't just one Spider-Man, and that Miles deserves the mask just as much as Peter. Marvel Superhero Adventures, 2017. Now this show was a completely different story, made entirely for little kids. The episodes were short, colorful, and super simple, with stories like Stop Today's Mischievous Villain or Help a Friend in Trouble. The goal was to introduce Marvel heroes in a fun, easy-to-follow way for preschoolers. And yes, Miles Morales was right there alongside Spidey and the rest.
Okay, I'm gonna shut down the whole system. That system looks complicated, Spidey. Are you sure you know? Don't distract me, I think.
His suit was totally simplified. Flat colors, rounded design, big expressive eyes, almost like a mini version of Miles, designed so kids could instantly recognize and connect with him. Here, Miles was cheerful, optimistic, and always ready to help. No existential dilemmas or dark storylines, just a friendly, reliable Spider-Man who taught teamwork and friendship. As for the animation, it mixed 2D and 3D styles. Nothing complex, just bright colors and simple backgrounds. The focus wasn't realism, but being visually fun for the little ones. Even though it might seem like a small appearance, this show helped a new generation of young fans fall in love with Miles Morales. It was his way of sneaking into the hearts of children who would later grow up to see him shine in Spider-Verse.
No, but Miles can.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018. This was the moment that changed everything. Before this movie, Miles Morales was mainly known by comic book fans and people who watched a few animated shows. But Into the Spider-Verse turned him into a global superstar. The story is incredible. Miles, a teenager from Brooklyn, lives caught between the pressure of a strict police father and the easygoing confidence of his supportive uncle. His life completely changes when a radioactive spider bites him, and shortly after, he witnesses the death of his universe's Peter Parker. That loss forces him to decide if he's really ready to become the new Spider-Man. But what makes it epic is that he's not alone. He meets alternate versions like Spider-Gwen, Peter B. Parker, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and even Peter Porker. Together, they teach Miles that there isn't just one right way to be Spider-Man. At first, Miles is just a regular kid, wearing urban clothes, a hoodie, and those now iconic Nike Air Jordans. When he finally embraces his destiny, he designs his own black and red suit with a graffiti-style twist, showing that he's not just Peter's replacement, he's his own hero. This version of Miles is insecure, scared of not being good enough, but also creative, sensitive, and full of heart. The most powerful part of the movie is his transformation, from doubting every step to taking that famous leap of faith, proving he can be Spider-Man.
That's all it is, Miles.
Hey, what's up, danger?
When it comes to animation, this wasn't just another cartoon, it was a revolution. Every frame looked like a comic book panel. Textures, half-tone dots, motion lines, even sound effects floating on screen. When Miles uses his powers, the visuals become even more vibrant, almost explosive. The mix of 2D and 3D animation, combined with graffiti art and comic book techniques, made the film so unique that it won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2019. It was so impactful that Miles became the favorite Spider-Man for an entire generation, even surpassing Peter for many fans. And not just that, his sneakers, hoodie, and the song Sunflower became cultural symbols. He wasn't just a hero, he was a pop icon. Spidey and his amazing friends, 2021 to present. After the massive success of Into the Spider-Verse, Miles also took over the kids' world with this Disney Junior series. Here, he's part of the Team Spidey, alongside Peter and Gwen. The story is simple and adorable. In each episode, the mini Spideys go on fun adventures, solving problems, stopping villains like Rhino, and always teaching lessons about teamwork, friendship, and helping others.
Wait, that's us! He's rushing back to see us! And we're not there! He's gonna worry!
His design here is much more cartoony and cute. Big head, simplified black and red suit, large expressive white eyes, and bright colors. It's basically a mini Spider-Man, perfect for little kids to instantly fall in love with him. In this show, Miles is cheerful, positive, and always ready to lend a hand. He's the team's optimistic buddy, full of energy and enthusiasm. There's no deep drama or inner conflict like in Spider-Verse. Here, he's simply the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man every kid dreams of being friends with. As for the visuals, the 3D animation is colorful, lively, and simple, with shiny, vibrant environments. There's no darkness or tension. Everything is designed to keep kids engaged with clear action and expressive characters. Even though it's made for preschoolers, this show helps cement Miles as the Spider-Man for a whole new generation. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2023. If Into the Spider-Verse was the birth of Miles as a hero, then Across the Spider-Verse was the ultimate test, facing the entire multiverse itself. Here, we see a more mature Miles, with 1 year of experience as Spider-Man, balancing his teenage life with his superhero duties. Everything seems under control until a new villain shows up, the Spot. At first, he looks like a joke, but he soon becomes a multiversal threat. Gwen returns to his life, and by accident, she leads him to the Spider Society.
This place is wild.
Can you sign a spot?
Let me ask. Hey, anybody spot?
Oh, so funny. Anybody else got jokes?
An army of spider people from different universes, led by Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man of 2099. But the real shock comes when Miles discovers that, according to the rules of the multiverse, he was never meant to be Spider-Man.
If you hadn't been bit, your Peter Parker would have lived. Instead, he died, saving you.
At this stage, Miles is no longer the insecure kid we saw in the first film. His design shows a taller, more confident young man, smooth in his movements, with a sharper, upgraded black and red suit. It's basically the evolved version of the 2018 Miles. Here, he proves he has something no other Spider-Man does: rebellion. While everyone else accepts Miguel's rules, Miles refuses to believe his destiny is already written. That defiance makes him an even more inspiring hero, one who fights for his right to be Spider-Man in his own way. We see him more confident, a bit sarcastic at times, but also vulnerable when he feels abandoned or misunderstood by his friends. And the animation, absolutely breathtaking. Each universe has its own distinct art style. Gwen's world looks like a moving watercolor painting. Spider-Punk's world is made of collage and paper textures. And the Spider Society is an explosion of different designs. The visuals are so detailed you can literally pause any frame and get a piece of art. It's a multiverse that breathes creativity. The movie features over 280 different Spider-Man variants, with classic cameos and hilarious visual gags. But the most shocking part was the ending. Miles ends up trapped in a universe where he meets a darker version of himself, the Prowler Miles. That cliffhanger left everyone desperate to know what happens next.
Who are you?
I'm Miles Morales.
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. It hasn't been released yet, but it's already one of the most anticipated animated movies ever made. This film will be the grand conclusion to the trilogy that began back in 2018. The story promises to finally resolve the showdown between the Miles we know and his alternate version, the Prowler. We'll also see whether he can save his father, who, according to the rules of the multiverse, is destined to die as a canonical event. This will be the ultimate moment, the one where Miles proves whether he can truly defy destiny and be Spider-Man on his own terms. Even though we haven't seen much officially, all signs point to a huge evolution in both his suit and powers. We might see him facing multiple variants at once, showing complete mastery over his abilities. This is the point where Miles will finally go from being a young Spider-Man to becoming a leader. The entire trilogy has been about his growth, and everything suggests that here we'll see the strongest, most determined, and most confident version of Miles yet. The hype is so massive that many fans believe this movie could pave the way for Miles Morales' live-action debut in the MCU. If that happens, his evolution wouldn't just be animated anymore. It would be historic. From his first animated appearances to becoming one of the most important heroes in the entire Spider-Verse, Miles Morales has come a long way. Which version did you meet first? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because on this channel, you'll find many more evolutions of your favorite characters, just like Spider-Man. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.